Jacob, we met online on Instagram after you went to the mastermind of William, which cost like 10K. You went there and then you learned about me and then we started speaking a little bit. I sent you a photo of my underchin. So you see I'm not a bot and I'm a real person because all I speak about is bots and AI stuff. And then you like that, you sent me also a photo of your underchin. And then we spontaneously met. I learned that you are actually a very successful hypnotherapist and then that you also have on the side, you're a musician and you play in front of 300,000 people and you have like a best-selling album in Germany, right? So then I was like, holy shit, who is this weird, different, crazy guy? Can you tell us a little bit more about like why do you have this weird mix?
Yeah, so I think like what comes up for me right away is that it's always about freedom, right? So like when I was younger, like freedom for me was making music, playing the guitar, because also when I went to school, like, and we had homework and stuff and things to do, I always, when I came back home, I always just felt so free playing the guitar, just shut everything else off and just making music. And luckily I've been very successful in my music career with my band. And then, like, as you know, like life evolves. And when I got older and also during what happened like the last few years, the pandemic, Corona, and all these things, I was always interested in other things as well. And then I found out that there is like not only this kind of freedom, but also freedom of like, in your psychology, in your thinking. And that's when I stumbled upon like hypnotherapy.
Okay, and why did you decide to go all in on hypnotherapy? And now you work with like big entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's just like the freedom that music gave me when I was younger is that I found it through hypnotherapy for myself. So there were lots of things that I overcame with using hypnotherapy and doing coaching and NLP and different techniques, because I always had like lots of doubts about myself, like my self-worth, and feeling also kind of anxious. I also couldn't like really appreciate the success we had with the band. So I was standing in front of all these people, but still I couldn't really let it in. And I solved that with hypnotherapy. So obviously I was like really into it and really interested in, okay, what else can I do? And then I started helping like first friends, family, and then this grew to like, a coaching business for entrepreneurs.
It blew up. Wait, my dream was to be a musician and it never worked out for me. So how did you manage to make it work? It's not that easy.
You tried to be a musician?
Yeah, I did. My dream was to be Eminem at the beginning and then Martin Garrix. I was a huge fan of those and I moved to Amsterdam to be a DJ, but everyone is a DJ in Amsterdam, so I gave up.
Oh, that's funny. You should invite me if you do like a party or something where you do the DJ, maybe in future.
No, I'm not anymore. But I used to be the high school DJ.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, like I think for me, it was just that with the music, I always believed that it would work out. So like my idols were guitar heroes, like, and big bands. Like when I was younger, it was like rock bands and metal bands like Rage Against the Machine, Limp Bizkit, Slipknot. And I always imagined myself like being in front of many people on big stages and playing the guitar. And I think what I now teach, like with my hypnosis, to change how you think about yourself, how you view yourself, is a big part why the music thing worked out for me, because there wasn't really doubt. So I always knew I could do this, I will do this. And then I think like the things started happening and evolving. I got to know the right people. And from this, everything, just took off more and more.
So you started with friends, and then how? I still don't exactly understand how you go from performing for no one to 30,000 people, because that's a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, it took some time in the band. We're now together for like 11, 12 years, and we just played our asses off. So we really played a lot of gigs and shows. If you call it USP, is our energy on stage. So we always gave it all we got. So no matter if we played in front of 30 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 30,000 people, it's like we're all in all the time, and people resonate with this frequency, with this energy, and I think this just took over the years. So, and of course then we had some songs that worked really well on Spotify.
So you started just by playing and people loved you online, no, physically, and then people started listening to you online, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So what do you think is do you think there is any connection between hypnotherapy and music?
So I'm also like a really spiritual person, so you could say frequency, because like in music, everything is about frequency. You have like major chords, which are happy, then you have minor chords which are more like melancholic. And actually the same thing happens in your brain. So we got brain waves, and depending on which brain waves you have, you feel different energies and emotions. But I maybe don't want to go too big in that rabbit hole. We can. And the other thing is what I was talking about earlier, like the freedom. So for me, like playing the guitar, making music is a lot about freedom, expressing yourself. And with hypnotherapy, this is like to give this back to people. So I think the intention on my side and the why is quite similar actually with playing music and doing the coaching, but on the outside it looks quite different.
So, I've noticed myself, like when I was a teenager, I was listening a lot to music. I was really influenced by music, but the more I started leaning into the business, to the masculine side or the business side or the logical side, I really stopped listening to music and I started listening only to podcasts and words and things like that. Actually, I just paid yesterday someone to help me bring the music back, so to kind of make remixes for my YouTube videos. So that's
nice.
Like they do on Alan Watts, you know that they do remixes from him?
Yeah. So they will do like remixes of your content?
Yes. They will take my YouTube videos and remix it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm really curious. I have no clue, but that's going to be really interesting. But
yeah, there is like a saying that like all the self-growth and self-optimization is a good thing as long as you have like self-acceptance on the other side of it. Because like if you're growing, and I see this a lot in like entrepreneurs, if you're just optimizing yourself for the optimization, but it's kind of out of a feeling of lack. So people are lacking happiness, fulfillment, and then just optimize themselves, like get in better shape, earn more money, but it's out of lack, then this can be like a really destructive thing. But if you come from a place of self-love, of self-acceptance, and then you build like this optimization, the growth, the success on top of that, this is where like really the magic happens, and also where people go through inner ceilings, because it's not out of a fear, not out of anxiety, but more like, of all the good feelings.
Yeah, I think the biggest growth that I've had in my life, and I'm really curious to hear your story about it, but the biggest growth I had in my life was leaning into fear, where you're afraid of. Do you have experience with that? And yeah,
absolutely. So I always think that like freedom is on the other side of fear, because fear also is a friend. Because do we want to feel fear? Of course not. But fear is like a really important emotion that shows where our nervous system is like struggling, and also where our edges are, our boundaries, where we can like grow. Because everything that just feels easy normally isn't changing that much. But when you lean into fear and you go through fear, which also is a big part of working with hypnotherapy and resolving these fears, then on the other side there's freedom and there's success and all the good things.
Do you have a personal story with that, or your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's come back to the music thing. So for me, I always had like the fear of being abandoned, of not being good enough. And this is also why, even though we were quite successful with the band, I couldn't appreciate all this success, because on the inside there was a part of me that didn't really like connect to this, because there was this fear of everybody, and it's called imposter syndrome. Many people know it. It's like, what if everybody just sees that I'm actually not that good and everybody abandons me? So that wasn't like a logical thing that I knew, but it was a feeling on the inside that kept me stuck. And exposing myself with hypnosis, with this fear, and where this fear came from, and that it's something from my childhood, an experience, and reliving this experience in hypnosis and resolving it gave me the freedom now, and like enjoying being on stage, playing in front of all these people and appreciating it instead of coming from a place of anxiety.
So how did you solve it with hypnotherapist?
You mean like specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you mean by not appreciating it as well?
The music, the success?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean like, what's a big goal of yours? What's something that you are really excited about, that you would like, oh, if this happens, that would be so amazing?
Probably to speak in front of 30,000 people like you do.
Okay, so just imagine that you made it. Like you're behind the curtain and someone invited you to speak in front of 30,000 people about a topic that you love.
Yeah.
Then just imagine there are two parts inside of you. One is the excitement and this, oh, I worked so much for this, this is my dream coming true. And the other part is that I don't deserve this. What if I mess up? What if everybody sees that I'm a scam? And now imagine walking on stage with a mic in your hand, wanting to talk to the 30,000 people, maybe also doing it, and on the inside just feel like shit because there's this feeling from, I don't deserve this. This is kind of what I was talking about. Can you understand? Do you understand?
Is it like putting a mask on?
Yeah, right. Because you're not aligned, because like your inner feelings, your subconscious and your conscious are not aligned. On the conscious level, you say, oh, I want this, this is amazing. But on the subconscious level, on a bodily nervous system level, there's a part of you that just says, no, this is not right, you don't deserve this. And the way to resolve it is like to go through this fear, through this anxiety. So there are different techniques in working with hypnosis and resolving these inner bottlenecks, inner blockages. And one is that you make this fear like really big, because this activates everything in your brain that is connected to this fear. So all the past events, the past situations that are connected to this fear get activated through the emotion. And then by doing it in the trance state, in hypnosis, and then telling someone like what to do, because we're really receptive in a hypnosis state, suggestible, and then telling someone, okay, now you go back. By the count of 3, you go back to a time in your life where you first experienced this kind of fear. And then I count down. There's like some more other techniques involved. So imagine like going down a stairway to make the prefrontal cortex, like the logical part of the brain, relax. And then we go back to this first moment where you ever experienced this fear, this anxiety. For me, the feeling of, oh, I don't deserve it, because there has to be like a first moment. When we are born, we're like a blank piece of paper. There is no good feelings, there is no bad feelings, and then there has to be like the first time we experienced an emotion. So we go back to the first time we ever experienced this anxiety, fear, or in my case, this I don't deserve this. And then we change this situation and how we kind of relive it in our imagination, but with more resources. And if we come back from this process, then yeah, like the root cause is just not there anymore. And for that, you can then just relax and have a different experience, which for me was I could start enjoying being on stage and playing the guitar in front of many people.
What was the root memory then for you? What was the root trauma?
Yeah, for me, it was like a moment with my family. When I was a small child, we were on vacation, and there was a moment where I had the feeling that my parents left me. They didn't do it, but for me, like as a small child with the age of 3 or 4, that was the feeling. I couldn't see them, I couldn't hear them, I felt something was off. And in that moment, as like the 3-year-old small Jacob, I had the feeling, shit, they left me alone, I will die. And this kind of the start of this, and then I created more memories, because like my body, my nervous system always wants to save me and make me feel secure. So it puts a lot of attention on these things. And yeah, that was kind of the root cause, even though it's like a complete different context.
That's crazy. So you remember something from when you were 3 or 4 years old? That's not easy, is it?
I didn't do it before going into a trance. I didn't knew this was the root cause. I thought it was something different, like from my teenage years. But when we went back and further back in the hypnosis, then this was like the first moment where I felt this of the fear of being alone, not deserving to live, maybe even. And this is because when you're in a trance state and your brain works differently, you have different access to like your memories and all the past things in your life.
That is so fascinating. That is so crazy. I love that.
Yeah, I also love it. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because it's so, yeah, it's crazy.
You know, it's an interesting part because, like, you know, a lot of us are coaches, but coaches can change the future. We can help you build through the future, but coaches can't really help you change the past or change the past in your mind. We can help you learn new skills, but we cannot help you change your traumas. And so I remember I had like a client who was like, oh yeah, I want to make videos, I want to be on social media, so excited. And then when it really came to making videos, she bailed out and she was like, I'm terrified, I can't do it. But like she recorded, but she could just not post it. And I couldn't help her with that. And I think you would be the perfect guy to help her with that, right?
Yeah, you can give her my number. Just joking. Yeah, that's a big thing. And I think also this is a problem in today's like society coaching entrepreneur bubble, because everybody just wants more success and more of everything, but without like resolving the root causes and the traumas and the triggers and the anxieties, you would, no matter how successful you become, if you make like $1 million, if you become a billionaire, if all this success is built like on a foundation of anxiety and fear, then you can be successful, but you will still feel like shit, because the young person of you, the 3-year-old, the 4-year-old version of you or of this successful person still has like the emotional problem.
So I know what you're saying, and it's really interesting, but I was always afraid that if I fix myself, I would not be as motivated to work. And because I'm broken, I want to work and succeed. And that is my drive. And if I fix myself, I'll be a Zen guy climbing mountains and doing nothing with his life.
Yeah, love it. That's actually like a quite common misconception and belief, but because this is only a belief. There's like, and beliefs are so interesting. I love talking about beliefs because they are not physical laws. So if I ask you, if I get this pen and I just let it drop, would you say that this pen will drop, or would you say it goes up or sideways?
It will drop. I've seen it enough time drop.
I would say the same. So I also believe this pen will drop if I drop it. It did. Yeah. The thing is that if I'm in a different room where gravity is like, and there is like rooms with artificial gravity and stuff, this wouldn't be true. So even this thing, like, which is like a physical law, doesn't apply all times. And the thing with beliefs is, it's not a physical law even. So when you think that, oh yeah, what about my motivation? If I just become this Zen person of myself, will just all my motivation go away, and I will stop doing all the things, I will stop making money, I will stop everything, and just lay on the sofa and do nothing. This is not true. So you will find both people. You will find people that prove to themselves that this is the case, that they stop doing stuff. And then you will find people who get into this Zen mode, resolve all the problems from their childhood, and become even more successful. You get what I mean?
Yeah, so do you think, like, in our nature, if we fix ourselves completely, are we meant to be successful or meant to be Zen?
Both. To become like really, really successful, but also be calm and peaceful on the same side. And I think like Richard Branson is a great example for this. This guy is so chilled, and he's just one of the biggest entrepreneurs of our time. I don't think, and I've seen a lot of his stuff, I've read his biography, that there's like big trauma or anxiety that's his motivation. It's more out of an openness and freedom and like, yeah, coming from a good place.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Do you work with billionaires?
I haven't worked with a billionaire yet. I've worked with some millionaires, but I haven't worked with a billionaire.
Maybe not that you know of, right?
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah. Interesting. But you work a lot with millionaires, right? Or with really successful people as CEOs, entrepreneurs. That's your niche.
Yeah.
What do you then normally help them? Okay, let's say you fix someone. What then? What is the changes? I'm curious.
Can you like specify that question?
Well, you get to work with a lot of like big business owners and big entrepreneurs. Yeah. Like once you fix them or you make them better, like do they go and make more money or do they make less money or what kind of like what is the aftermath? What is the result after?
Yeah, got it. So I think it depends on the person because like coaching is not one thing that fits like everybody and gets the same results. So I can talk about different client stories and what they got from the coaching. And what I see often with successful people, if they get like a new balance of what life looks like. So they make more money and they grow their business, but on the other side, because they are doing it from a peaceful place, also their relationships and the balance between like time spending with their loved ones and growing the business becomes better balanced because they are, I think it also has to do a lot with trust because people who come from anxiety and don't have resolved their inner bottlenecks, their traumas, they always in this hustle mode. And I don't know have you seen the podcast episode by Tony Robbins and Alex Hormozi?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. It's so funny because everybody, and I really respect Alex for what he's built and what he's doing. And in this interview, I've been talking about that like quite a lot with different people, and everybody says he just looks like a small child, like compared to the questions that Tony is asking. And I think this is what we are talking about. So of course you can be really successful, but I would say he's one of the biggest personal brands of our time, and seeing him coming from this place of anxiety, of having to prove himself, that doesn't look healthy.
Yeah, true. He says his favorite quote is like, "Just work harder," and I'm like, dude, no, I want to work smarter, not harder. Come on.
Yeah, that's also why I booked you with you because I wanted to get all your AI hacks. Work smart, not hard. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the quotes that changed my life actually was, "If you can't make money while you sleep, you will work until the day you die." Yeah, but it might be just a people-pleasing thing from him. Like, oh, I work really hard. Look how hard I work for you. And like, what do you think? Or where do you think this trauma comes from?
And there is like a root cause. There is like, and in my experience with my clients, it like 90% of the times is a relationship to our parents or to like a partner or something, to a good friend who died in childhood or something like that. And there has to be some reason for him behaving the way he does. And this is interpretation, what looks and might be people pleasing and might be proving to himself that he's worth it. And it's kind of, I could really good relate with Alex Hormozi because how he was talking about his success and doing more and working harder was a lot how I felt with the music, like having the success, playing bigger stages, but on the other side, like just still feeling this lack inside of me, which didn't change because of all the success in the outside. And this is like a hard and interesting moment in life when you get the results and you thought your whole life that when I get these results, when I play on big stages, I will just feel so loved and free and happy, and you get these results and you still feel the same. This is like where people, and also where the clients I work with, my clients, come to me and say, I've reached a certain level of success and it didn't change what I wanted it to change, like feeling-wise, emotional-wise. So what now? And then they start looking around, do different things until they find me and resolve like the root cause with hypnosis.
You know, one thing I love about you is that you really, like, you take yourself so seriously in investing in yourself. Like, you've invested like a lot of money in yourself, right?
Yeah.
You go all in on yourself. I love that. How much did you invest in yourself?
So I think right now it would be like around like 200K.
You know, I have friends who make $1 million a month. They not all of them have invested this much money. So you're doing amazing.
Thanks. Yeah, I think this is like really important. And we were talking about that. You were saying that what I think about if freedom is on the other side of fear.
Yeah.
Or this is what I answered. This is what my opinion is, that yes, that's true. And like spending a lot of money on myself, it always comes with fear. I've worked with a coach. I paid like 12K for 2 60-minute sessions. And so I paid him like 6K for an hour, which really made me feel anxious and fearful. But on the other side, I took like this investment so seriously, and I knew why I wanted to work with him, that results started showing up even before I worked with him. So between paying him and starting to work with him, I already saw changes because I decided to invest in myself. And you can decide on different levels. You can decide where you put your time, you can decide where you put your money, and you can decide where you put your attention and energy. And I think you will always grow if you put it on the right things. And for me, it's just like spending my time, my money, and my energy of things that let me grow and see the world like with more open eyes.
I invested $15,000 into a coach as well. And you know, my mom almost slapped me. And my whole family, you got scammed, you stupid. Things like that. And you have a fiance, right?
Yeah.
Did she not smack the shit out of you?
So the thing is that the good thing is, because we know each other for quite a few years, we both are on this way. So our relationship is really like the most important thing for me in my life, because we're so good friends, and she understands why I'm doing it. It's not that sometimes she thinks I'm crazy, but she understands from which place this is coming from. And that's also like one of the biggest learnings for me the last few years was only take advice from people who have specifically gotten the results you want to get. And like with our parents, and I chose a different path. I didn't even tell my mom because maybe she would have slapped me also. But she comes from a place, she doesn't understand these numbers and what the impact of these investments. So if I want to talk about an investment like this, I talk to people who already did these kinds of investments themselves.
Yeah, that's a good answer. The best people to learn from are people who did it themselves and then helped other people do it.
Yeah, 100%.
Or who got the results themselves and then got other people the results.
And did you looking now, the 50K you spent, the 15K, was it a scam or was it worth it?
No, it was worth it. It was worth it. I'll tell you what, I needed to pay someone $15,000. It didn't matter who too much, because someone told me, if you want to sell something for $15,000, you gotta spend it yourself. Yeah. And I couldn't believe what I could, like what I could sell for $15,000. I couldn't believe, I couldn't imagine it. So I was like, okay, he's right. I need to spend it to block this limiting belief. And it did help me, and it did help me make, I actually sold something for $15,000 a few times. So thanks to that, yeah.
I mean,
I didn't think it was like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever spent, right? It's not black and white. It's somewhere in between. I'm leaning more to the side where I'm happy with it. It's good. But I learned a lot from it. It's also like, okay, maybe those things I don't like. So in my way of selling things, I will do this better, right?
Absolutely. And it's always about like committing to the path and the goal. Because I've also made investment like this where I thought after that, shit, this was a bad investment. But because I was doing it and I'm doing it again and again and again, I'm always deciding for who I want to become. So I'm not like, even when I made a wrong investment, I don't stop and say, oh, fuck, I spent so many €1,000 and it didn't give me the results I wanted it to have. Because in the long run, when I look back, even these investments, they made me take some decisions differently after that, which then led to other things where I met someone who then became a client, or so you never know, but I'm deciding and committed. I'm committed and accountable to the path I'm on.
I love it. I love it. It's so smart. It's such a beautiful mindset. One of my favorite things to do is to imagine, what if I just acted completely differently with my money? And I would give tip to everyone I walk, I would give them tip, and I would be like, just spending my money in a completely different way. And then you can imagine like, oh my God, I would probably be a completely different person in a completely different place, and everything will change. Like going to the most expensive hotel, renting the most expensive place, and then you meet fascinating, I don't know, everything can happen.
Yeah. Who would you meet like in the most expensive hotel or restaurant? Yeah. You would probably meet different people than if you go to a different restaurant. And this is not a good or a bad thing, but it's just about opportunities and how much risk are you willing to take? And then like one of the biggest misconception is time. So many people think that it needs a certain amount of time to change or also to get some results, but because we believe this, we will prove it to ourselves. So if you believe, you will, like, what's a numbers goal for you? Is there like a specific number you would like to achieve?
Yep, 100K a month.
100K a month. So just like, what's your first thought? How long will it take you to get your first 100K a month?
A few months. Or I'll need to sell something for much higher, or I'll need to hire a team to do the massive thing. And I'll need to have a lot of systems and pay a lot in ads.
Yeah, and this is like probably right, but also it's limiting yourself because you connect your goal with, it will still take me a few months. And you will prove to yourself that it will take you a few months, which is not a bad thing. But remember, like the pen, you're deciding it will take a few months, and I believe that it will take a few months, and then you will do this. Why not tomorrow? Why not next week? And I know that there are like logical reasons why you're not doing it tomorrow or next week. But these, on the other hand, are just beliefs.
There are no. Actually, you could probably hypnotize. Like, this has been actually always a dream of mine, to suddenly think like a billionaire, or to be around a billionaire, and who's like telling you like, hey, every decision you make during the day is a mistake. Just change this decision, and boom, you make 10x.
Yeah. And question to you. So we have two Sam. We have the Sam you're right now, and you have the Sam who already had like a 500K month. But both are back to the same situation, the situation you're in right now. So who would you say would make the 100K month faster? The Sam you're right now, or the Sam who already did like 500K?
The Sam already did. He knows how to do that.
Yeah, why? What's the difference?
He knows.
What does he know?
How to do it. He has experienced that. He has done it. He knows what it takes. He knows what happened, how it happened.
Yeah, and like the most important thing, he believes that it's possible.
Hey, this is actually one of my favorite discussions. I love this topic of, you can change your whole life completely in one single day.
Yeah, actually, it doesn't even take a day. It takes a moment, because like our life happens always in this moment. So right now, this is the only moment there is. So we can think about the past, we can think about the future, but what's the only moment you can like choose something different? It's this moment, right? It's not even this day, it's this moment right now. And the thing is that most people come from the past. So they think, I'm this, I can't do this, I'm good at this. And then they choose in this moment to do the same thing they've been doing for the last few months or last few years. Maybe they slightly adjust. But what if you choose completely different, coming from a place of where you want to go? So coming back to the Sam that already made like 500K, what different decisions would he do in this moment? What would you like different if you imagine, and you can take like a few seconds for yourself, really imagine being the Sam who already had a 500K month?
I would love to see reels about that. I would definitely practice in that. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Sorry.
So give yourself like a few seconds, maybe close your eyes, and we're not doing a hypnosis, but just a visualization where you like really get yourself in the mood. So what would feel different in your body when you knew you already made a 500K month?
I'd be more confident.
What specifically do you mean by you would be more confident?
Maybe I would talk less. I feel like I would talk less. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I heard that rich people talk less, or because I would just be more confident and I would be like, cool.
Okay, in what specific situations? Let's take this week tomorrow. Is there a situation that's really important for you in the next days? Or is there a decision you have to take for yourself? You don't know when you will take it, but something that you've been thinking about a lot like lately?
No, I don't. That's a problem maybe. But if I had a month that I would make 500K, I would probably surprise all my family with a one-way flight to Bali or two-way flight to Bali. Maybe even for my parents, I would probably buy them like a upgrade version, first class. I'd give them the best times of their lives. I'd hire someone to replace my mom at work.
Okay, so like let's let the money out, and this is like great that you have these ideas already. What would you do differently? Like how would you show up differently? You said you would be more confident. So for this moment, you said, and correct me if I'm wrong, you said you wanted, like one goal is to get to 100K a month to do these things for your family, right?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, so what could you do differently than you're doing it right now to get to the 100K month faster? What decision could you make right now? You don't have to commit to it, but what could you do differently, and what would you do differently if you come from a place of, I already did this?
I would probably hire a few people. I would hire you. I would hire maybe William, or maybe other people who have done the work, who can just tell me, hey, I need you to hire this person, I need you to do this, I need you to do this. So they give me the clarity of like, just do this. Yeah, I think I would just hire people and pay them good. Now I'm hiring someone to help me with videos. And I find myself negotiating prices with them. And maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't negotiate price. Maybe I should give them like more. Maybe I should give them tips and things like that.
Yeah, what stops you from doing all these things right now? Hiring Will, paying the people more money. What stops you?
Nothing. Just fear. Just fear. Yeah, fear.
Yeah. And then the only question is, like, because most people in this position, they just put everything on time. So they think, yeah, if I just do it like for the next month, weeks, years, then someday I will become this person. All of this will be normal without the fear. And that's a way. That's how most people live their life. The other option is to just cut all the time and move as this Sam starting this moment. Which doesn't mean you have to buy the Ferrari now and spend all your money. That's not what I'm talking about. It's just like making these bold decisions, hiring people, taking more risk, doing bigger steps. There is like no law, no physical law that says you need more time in order to be able to do these things. It's just in your head, it's just in your brain, it's just a thought. And you decide which path you want to take. And it's not like that one path is better than the other. It's just important to know that if you want to get to the 100K faster, you can decide that now and without all the waiting. And you can do it on your own. And if like the fear is too big, and not everybody needs a coach. If you realize these things and just take the action, that's perfectly fine. But if you know what action you should take and you don't do it because there's like something internally in your nervous system blocking you from taking these steps and holding you back, repeating old patterns, then that's like where people like I come in, just to remove these things, to take bold action now and instead of in a few months or years.
I love that. I love that. It's so, that's my best memories or my best moments is me thinking about what if I just did it? What if I just did this differently? What if I, maybe I am going to give a tip to this girl that's going to help me tomorrow. Why not?
That's awesome. Yeah, and the fast track and all the success, how would you imagine your life evolving over the next year, the next 5 years? If like in all the situations you came from a place of trust, security, freedom, generosity, and in all these decisions where in the past you said, what if I would do this? You just did it, but you also felt good doing it. How many opportunities would you have created with that?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Yeah. And
bro,
this
you
is
look
also
so good with this lighting. You just look amazing.
appreciate it. Yeah, it's like your work. It's what you said, and I also feel really good and comfortable with myself looking like this. Yeah, because it just represents how I feel on the inside. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, sorry, continue. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, I think it's just, this is also why I like spending money and investing on myself. It's not about the money, it's about taking bold decisions because I want to move fast. And it's funny because when we met first in Bali, in the Alchemy in Canggu, you asked me, Jakob, do you like speed? And I says, yeah, I love speed. And that's also why I decided to pay you 6K for 4 sessions, like in that moment without really knowing you, because I know there are two versions of Jakob. One who always thinks everything through and moves slow and
German.
What if the German? yeah. And then there's this version of me who's just like free and bold and yeah. And I mean, like, it's not about taking each risk you could take. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, but if you know you want to move in a specific direction, then do it, and don't ask it. And like, could you have run off with the money? You could have, but you didn't. And now we're sitting here having this interview, like learning from each other, and this is just so amazing. What if I hadn't spent the 6K on you?
I can't run away with your money. You can go to Stripe, get a refund if you want. You can call Will.
That's true. Yeah, and there was no fear of you doing it. But just imagine this: like, what if in that cafe, in the restaurant, in the Alchemy, I have chosen not to work with you? I wouldn't have this light. I wouldn't have this conversation. I've learned so much from you with all the AI, with how to talk about like freely and to be myself in front of camera. And am I there 100% yet? No, I'm not. But I'm working on it and I know what to work on. And all this came with like deciding to move fast, to book you, to trust you, to learn from another human being who is like on the same mission. And I think that's what life is all about. And I really just dig this so much, like working with interesting and inspiring people. It's the best thing you can do in my world.
I love my job as well because I meet you and I find you also very inspiring. Did you get clients?
Yeah, I did get clients.
Good. From
I
Instagram?
did get clients before, but now I'm getting, like, I raised my prices as well. And I also changed my offer a little bit, because I also, yeah, I just got a clearer picture of who I want to be. Like, what, not only what my personal brand is, that's part of it, but also just to be more honest with myself, with my work, with what I can give to people, show up as this person and not like the German person who's slow and boring. I've never been that actually, but you know what I mean. Yeah,
Logical.
and yeah, the logical Jacob, and it just feels so good to get clients from this point of view, and also to respect myself. Like the lighting thing here, it's, you could say, yeah, it's just light. No, it's like respecting the new version of myself. Instead of just taking my shitty webcam, I bought myself a nice camera. So it's, yeah, and this is also deciding for who do I want to become.
And you make more sales because of it, I think, as well. You look
Yeah.
better for sales calls, right?
Right.
And for videos as well, and for everything. And this is going to be turned into content as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can post things together. This is such a beautiful interview, actually. I love this.
Nice. I also love it.
So okay, let's move on, because I would, there's so much things I want to know. I'm really curious about, like, why do people work with you? And you know, there are a few hypnotherapists in the world, and you're not the cheapest one. So why do they work with you?
Like, the honest answer to that is that they feel a connection on a deeper level that's not conscious. And I know this sounds like woo-woo and spiritual, but the same, why did I trust you to work with you? And this, like, is not about you, but because there was a connection that I couldn't describe. So I could, like, I felt it and I could fight. It was a double chin. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's part of it. It's like I felt and I saw, because I saw your double chin, that you're like really honest and you're the way you are. And when I work with people and I tell them that my prices and they compare them to other hypnotists, I can tell you a story. So I had a sales call 2 weeks ago, and when I told the girl, and she was like really on fire, a female entrepreneur, and she was like, yeah, let's do this. And then I told her my price, and she was, okay, I didn't expect it. And you could really see it in her face. She was like, it's that much? And then she told me, her first response was, yeah, but I have this healer I'm paying, and she only takes €80 an hour. And I was smiling, and I said, yeah, so what? And she was, yeah, but you're so much more expensive. I said, yes. What's the point? Because that's not better or worse. And if the healer is like happy charging €80 per hour, that's perfectly fine, and there's nothing bad about it. But probably this person also hasn't spent like 200K on personal development, business coaching, and all these things. So, and it's so funny, because in the end, prices are just numbers, and we have different associations to different numbers. When you were talking about like going to 100K month, yeah, you have different associations in your brain than to 500K, than to 10K. It's just different thoughts coming up. And for me, it's, why do I charge more than other hypnotists charge? Because it's also a commitment thing, because I don't want to work with people just to work with people. I want to meet like inspiring human beings who are really committed to their own growth, who are committed to making moves different, to choosing things different in their life. And with this also comes like committing on a different level. And as I said before, you can commit with your money, you can commit with your energy and with your time. And I want people to commit with their energy, with their time, and with their attention, because otherwise they won't get the same results. At least that's like my experience when I choose to invest myself.
Jacob, I know you a little bit. I know your business. I think you're really undervaluing yourself, calling yourself a hypnotherapist. I think you're much more than that. I think you're a business coach that knows how to do hypnotherapist.
Maybe. I think, yeah, I know what you mean. And I experience that with lots of my clients who grow their business because of what I'm doing and working on with them. I think like a part of it is that I have the limiting belief. And this is interesting talking about it with you, that when I call myself a business coach, people think, oh, this is the guy who does the marketing, this is the guy who helps me run ads, because I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy who helps you like dial in the perfect ads. And there are amazing people for that. I'm not the guy who tells you how to write a webinar. There are amazing people for that. I'm the guy who helps you to solve your internal bottlenecks. So all the things that you do on the outsides really can work out because you're showing up as the person you want to be and not like some limited version of you.
Yeah. You know, I want to tell you, so it's an interesting thing. I almost paid a hypnotherapist $25,000. Yeah, I actually need to send you his profile because he's quite interesting. Well, I'll tell you how it happened. It was in LA, my first time in LA, my first time in America, big money stuff, right? And there's this friend from Bali who suddenly invites me, who says like, "Hey, there's this event of super successful entrepreneurs. Do you want to come?" Ended up not coming there, but he invited me to the dinner, to the lunch, to the breakfast after the event. So he was like, "Hey, we're going a few friends from the event. Everyone is super successful. Come join us for breakfast." I go to breakfast. You know, I take a taxi $50 already. I'm like, but I go there. I go there, and it's the most expensive restaurant I've ever seen. Almost like we were 4 people. I think it was like $500 for like 4 people for just normal breakfast, nothing special. Between $300 and $500, and I was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna eat anything. Like I think this is just stupid. Anyway, so I arrived a little bit late. That's why I didn't order. And then the guy next to me, we talk a little bit, and he's like, "So what do you do? What do you do?" "Oh, yeah, I'm a hypnotherapist. Yeah, I teach some of the richest people in the world. I do hypnotherapy for them." "Okay, sounds good." And then he goes and he says, "Sorry, I need to take my flight." And he paid for everyone. And I was like, whoa, okay. He paid for everyone. He just met them. He doesn't know them at all. He just paid for everyone like this $500 or $300. Okay, that's really interesting. I have to take his Instagram. I need to figure out who is this guy. Like what the fuck? Who spends like this $400 on people? Yeah. And then I took his Instagram, and then I was like, "Dude, you really impressed me. You really blew my mind with what you did there." I didn't tell him that like that, but I was like, I want to learn what you do. And then he almost sold me something for $25,000, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. $400 is nothing to impress someone to pay you $25,000.
That's a smart business strategy.
Really smart. And I was like, how interesting. And he was really charming. He was really smart with how he spoke. He's really good at what he does. He's a good salesperson. It was fascinating.
You should send me his profile. I'm really interested, because it's so funny how people present themselves in different ways.
I felt like I'm coming into a new world. You know, like after I saw on his stories, he's like, go, like he's posting himself in a hotel, and he's like, go to the most expensive hotel, take the most expensive room, tip everyone, and he has this mindset of abundance. And I was like, fuck yeah, I want to go there.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that you come up with this story, because what you said to me earlier is that you want to do the same things. You want to invite your family to come to Bali, you want to give them an upgrade, you want to pay for other people, you want to be more generous with the people you work together. And why not start doing it?
I'm afraid it won't come back, money. That's why.
Yeah, and that's a fear you can resolve. And like the funny thing is, in your experience, like for the things you spent the most money on, did they help you get more money, or did the money just go away?
Well, good question. I think it always helped me more. And not only that, when I spend little money, that's where it doesn't help me so much. That's where I waste my time. Spend once $1,000 on someone to do my SEO, and he disappeared with my money. Literally.
Yeah, and that's interesting because like when people are committing like on a higher level, you just get a different quality of relationship and connections. That's just my experience. And that's not me judging someone to taking like lower fees. Everybody can do whatever they want. And there's like, be my guest. I'm not telling you to do more bold decisions or spend more money. Do whatever you want. In my experience, you can just choose what steps do you want to take in your life. Do you want like take small baby steps over and over and over again, or do you want to make bigger steps? And you can always choose to do them now.
Okay. The point of the podcast is go spend as much money as you possibly can. That's the lesson, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and but this is like super important and really interesting that you say it. You said the point of this podcast is to just spend more money. And what does this represent? What does spend more money stand for? It stands for choosing like your future version, the version you would like to be now in this moment. Taking bold actions that you know you will take in a few years, but you're, for whatever reason, waiting. So this is what spend more money is all about. It's about choosing this person you want to become.
So how do you help people yourself to get over their fears? For example, my fear of spending more money, right?
Yeah, so like if I would work with you, and this is turning into a sales call, I'm not pitching you anything.
You tell me, please do.
So like the first is
I
want
actually
to
love telling people, sell me something.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. When people love what they are doing, this is like you can see their excitement like lighting up. I also got to experience that with you when we met in the restaurant and you showed me what you were working on with Claude. So the first thing is obviously like really digging deeper into why you want to do these things. Why do you want to like get your family with a first class ticket to Bali? Why do you want to get a 100K month? Because there are bold decisions connected to it. And if your why, your purpose behind it is not strong enough, then you won't take the action no matter what. But I believe that you have like strong enough reasons. So, but digging into this is a really, really important part because it sets the foundation for like resolving the things because you know why you're doing it. Because also leaning into the fear in a hypnosis session, you have to know why you're doing it. Just leaning into the fear because someone tells you lean into the fear, feel the anxiety, doesn't resolve much. So with that, with having your purpose really, and I call this identity audit, so really identify what's your purpose, why do you want to become this person, and what does this Sam do differently? And this is a mixture of hypnosis work and also conscious work because we really want to create a picture, like a visual picture of you, that whenever you, in the future, you are in this kind of decisions, you said, do I spend more on this person or do I choose like the one I've worked with before who's not that expensive? I want you to see yourself and not ask yourself what am I choosing right now, but this version of Sam, this future version you want to become, who invites his family to Bali, how would he choose? What would he do? So this is like the start of it. And then you ask me, okay, so but what specifically would we do to resolve this inner fear of spending more money? And we actually started doing it. One part of it is like to expose that this belief, you said, it's your words, I have the fear that if I spend this money, it won't come back. Then you told me, after I asked you, yeah, but the funny thing is, like, in the past, I've made the experience that when I spent money, it always came back. Maybe not always, but when I
spend the big money.
Yeah, when I spent the big money, it moved the needle forward. So there still has to be like some reason why you believe that the money won't come back. There is no physical law, and I love coming back to this thing that says the money you spend on first ticket flights for your family won't come back.
It goes down.
How,
it falls.
How do you... Sorry?
It falls. It goes down like the pen.
Yeah. But how do you... Like, where does this even come from? There are other persons on this planet who might think, okay, if I spend even more money and I give everyone a first flight upgrade to Bali and back, this will get me even more money because I can start making content around it. I can start talking, I can start telling the story. I flew my whole family in first class to Bali, and this is why I did it. And suddenly, like, you become this person, but this is only on the surface level. On the level below, on the subconscious nervous system level, we would go into a trance, like bringing your brain down so the conscious part of your brain is more relaxed and not as I want to protect it and I want to keep the old version of Sam. And then we would do what I already said. We would go back and find like the trauma, the fear, the anxiety that's behind the anxiety of spending more money. Because in my experience working with clients, the fear is not, I'm not getting the money back. Who gives a fuck? Money will always come back. Maybe it takes longer. But behind the fear of the money not coming back, there might be a bigger fear. For example, of like getting broke and not being able to afford the life you're living right now. Or maybe even there's like a fear of death behind it. And behind most like really big things, there's the fear of being abandoned and dying because you're not able to provide for yourself. And imagine like this is not... How old are you?
29.
29. 35. So this is not the 29 or 35-year-old version of us we're talking about. It's like the 3-year-old, the 4-year-old version who had this trauma, this anxiety, who really felt like being abandoned. And we have to go to that place to resolve it so it makes a permanent shift. Because we can talk consciously about this is not a problem. It's not a problem to spend money. You will get the money back. But this is just part of the solution. Because it's just what's above the surface. And we also have to get aligned with what's underneath, like with the emotions that are stored in your body.
Do you work online as well, or just physical?
Yeah. No. I work mostly online. So I have a few clients in Germany that come to me, or some even that I visit. We're doing the sessions in there. Like when they have a really nice apartment or a really nice office, then I'm willing to go there. It sounds
if
funny,
they offer me food.
Yeah, because one of my clients who has like a really nice loft with a view on the water here in Hamburg, and I just love the energy there, so I'm willing to work there. But most of my clients, because I'm also working with an international audience, are online. Yeah.
And is the experience better online or physical? Like how? Yeah, I guess physical, right?
Yeah. So it's It's a little bit different, but you get the same results online. There are also things that I like more about online because, for example, it's also about letting go and doing it online. You or my clients, they can be at their own place. So you can just, because if you're going into hypnosis, it's good to have like a quiet place where you feel really comfortable. And for most people, that is their home. So you can just find a comfortable place in your home where we can do like the sessions, and the only thing you need really is a good internet connection and some headphones, because a lot of the hypnosis work is I'm doing like with a microphone, obviously, like with my language. I'm directing your attention with my language, going deeper inside and resolving all these traumas. And there's nothing else needed than like a good connection for your subconscious minds to understand the words I'm saying.
So whenever someone wants to change their life completely, well, what is the biggest change you've kind of made for someone?
So one that really stuck out to me, because sometimes people think, yeah, it's nice to do this mindset stuff and it will move the needle a little bit, but I will just think a little bit different about myself, which is completely stupid because you change the person you perceive to be.
Yeah.
But because what stuck to me, I was working with a woman, and she has had like really bad headaches and migraine. I don't know if the English word is migraine, if you have like
Yes.
back pain connected to like
Yes.
headaches. And she had this for like over 20 years, and she didn't have like a longer period where she just could feel relief. And we didn't like specifically only work on that, but because we worked on her self-image, also about her respecting her own boundaries and yeah, who she is in front of other people, she started noticing for herself that the headache and the migraine was like a symptom of her subconscious, of her nervous system, whenever she was overpacing and like neglecting her own boundaries. And after we worked on that, like with hypnosis, she had like a period of 3 months where she didn't have any headache or migraine, which for her was just her mind was completely blown. Because she's experienced this pain for such a long time, like on a physical level, and then just opening up and feeling that this is even possible for her was, yeah, it just blew her mind, and she felt so much relief that really touched me. And so
Did you
I
make
was
more money?
talking.
Did she make more money?
I don't. I think so. So she didn't like, her goal wasn't to make more money. Her
Okay.
goal was to be like more at peace with herself, and she got that. And like, of course, I would say she made more money of it because she showed up as a different person in her business. But I don't have any numbers, and I don't want to just like make something up here. So
You should ask
yeah,
her. You
probably.
should send her a message.
Yeah, I should ask her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you wanted to share another story or no?
Um, Maybe kind of like it's funny for me now thinking about it, but for him it wasn't funny. It was also like a really successful German entrepreneur in real estate, and he like was really struggling with his relationships, and he had like so great internal strategies for business success because he always imagined himself. He saw, like, it was so interesting talking with him about his strategies because he already saw what's there. So if he bought like property, he already saw the houses that could be built. That was like his internal strategy. He always visualized the success he wants to build, and he became really successful doing it. But on the other hand, he did like a shit job on doing the same thing with his relationship. Like, he had a complete different internal strategy, and he was like arguing a lot with his wife, and it wasn't his first wife, so there was like a repetitive pattern in this behavior of him.
Yeah.
And he noticed when we went like down what's underneath that, what experience, that it was an argument he had with his mother. So like he wasn't actually like talking to his wife, to his partner, but in his mind, without knowing it, he was like arguing with his mother. And that
Yeah.
was like, I'm smiling. It's not a funny thing, but it's so interesting. Like that
It's
people
fascinating.
start, yeah, it's fascinating that people in their mind argue with their mother, having like reliving and reliving an argument that they had like years back, and they don't even realize that they just project this behavior on their wife, who they love and who they want to like have family with. Yeah, it's just, this is also like a client story that really touched me.
Bro,
Yeah,
I
but
think
we
it's
also covered a
fascinating.
lot of ground.
Yeah, we covered so
Yeah.
much. It was fascinating. It was fascinating. We were one of the best podcasts we've done. I have done actually. We should do this again one time in physical. Maybe if you come back to Bali, or if I come to Germany, I might come.
I would love to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting talking to you. It's
May-
so
Maybe
interesting.
we maybe we should start a podcast together, because we're like we're coming from so different areas, and I think it's like really interesting to get like both points of view on the different aspects and experiences.
Well, what are you talking about? What difference? I don't see so much difference between us.
No, I mean like we're on the same journey, and I think we share a lot of our values, like what's important for us. But you have like a complete different pathway. You're coming like from the content, the video, the photos side of things, and I'm
Yeah.
coming from the, yeah, mindset, hypnosis, identity side of things. And there, as you said, there is so much we share, but like the point of view also comes from a different place. And I think this is really valuable, and that's also why I learned so much from you.
Well, I actually, what we talked about today is one of my favorite topics, your relationship with money. It's like, those are things that I make videos about, and I'm like, oh, I love this. Oh my God, this is make me feel alive. It's like talking about
Yeah.
God. It's so good. You believe in God?
Yeah, in God. So I have my
Yeah.
own belief about. So I don't believe like in a religious God, like in Allah or God, like the Christian God, but I strongly believe in the universe and that there is a bigger power behind all of this. Yeah.
I think we are a whole generation of kids
Yeah.
that don't trust the system so much, but still like to trust in something.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone in Bali says similar things. I believe in something. I don't follow the lead. No one is gonna
Yeah.
tell me what to do.
In what area, like what do you think about when you say you're in some areas you don't follow the lead?
Oh, okay. The government ruined my trust. That was a big trauma for me. That was a big like, holy shit! I trusted the government so long.
Mm.
That was a big step for me. And then yeah, then when you kind of wake up to those things, then you're like, okay, well, I see how the most successful people and the richest people don't maybe always have the best intentions, and maybe it's a war in the mind of like everyone can be rich. Like I know, it's like I experienced myself. I hated school. For me, school was looking at a clock and waiting till it ends, and I just met a girl not too long ago, and she said like, "Oh, I'm lost, so I'm going back to Germany to university." And I'm like, "Oh my God, no! Please don't do that." Like, all I teach people is how to make money by being unique. You cannot make a lot of money without being unique. If you were just a hypnotherapist, you would just charge hypnotherapist prices.
Yeah.
But but you're unique. That's why you can charge more. And school teaches you how to be unique. And so someone designed that school, and someone designed everything. And it's everything is corrupt. Like if you take the top 1% and you corrupt them, you corrupt everything underneath it, because the mind is controlled, right? If you control the mind, you control the whole body.
I should charge even more to like brainwash the ones you're talking about.
I mean, yeah, it sounds like Alex Hormozi needs you, right? Alex Hormozi should
Yeah,
hire you.
I think he would like really benefit of it. Yeah. I
You
don't
should
have the
pitch him.
personal connections to get to him yet, but I think I could help him a lot. Yeah.
You should make a video about it then. You can
Yeah.
like the best way for you to get to work with him would be to make a video, say, if I was Alex Hormozi's hypnotherapist, this is exactly what it would work on. He did this podcast with this and he acted like a child. There's this pattern here, there's this. And show exactly how you would make him richer. That will be so
Yeah,
fascinating.
just make like a VSL just specifically for him.
Not a VSL, just a reel. Just an interesting
Yeah.
reel. Like it will make people like me want to buy from you. It will make him maybe see it. It will just be fascinating. I think it's a great idea, actually.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I will do it.
Awesome. That was a fascinating podcast. I appreciate it so much. We're definitely going to do another one.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add before we close off?
No, I just say that I'm grateful for like that we met, and also for grateful for myself trusting in you and your business, because this is just such a nice relationship evolving out of it, and that's amazing.
You
Thanks.
know, it's probably an energy thing. Like if I had a different energy and if I didn't send you my under chin, because remember what it was, I sent you a message, I think, or you sent me a
Yeah.
message, and then I sent you a message, and then you were like, "Is this a bot?" And I was like, sending you my under chin. It's like, I wish I could bot this.
Yeah, and like I don't want to open the next topic, but this is so important because everybody tries to be perfect online, and the thing that made me trust you was you sending me a picture of your under chin.
I should use it more. I should. I'm actually hiring a DM setter now, so I was directly thinking she should have a picture of my under chin.
Yeah, she should have like the 50 versions of your under chins so she can send it to people.
Exactly.
Love it.
Like I love this. This is the fun thing about business. Business can be so fun, right?
Yeah,
I love it.
but people make it so serious. That's so strange. Yeah.
Yeah, and because they're afraid. I think they're afraid. I work with a family office, right? It's people who, you know, they probably manage like 100 million. It's one individual who manages $100 million or something like that, like a lot of money. And so I see he complain, like his favorite thing is to complain about everyone he works with. And I'm always like, bro, you're so toxic. Like, imagine how I'm trying to imagine how you talk about me behind my back, right? And then he told me like, yeah, I do complain about you. You're so disfocused. Your attention span is like a fish. Okay.
At least he is honest about it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's honest about it. Yeah, but yeah, we're like, you know, like a father and a son. We have a really beautiful relationship. But yeah, he actually his partner actually tattooed his name, my name, on top of his arm. The
Oh, wow.
strange thing. My mother didn't like that at all. Anyway, never mind. But but yeah, so he complained about everyone, and the biggest problem I see is everyone is trying to be so safe with him, trying to be so ChatGPT with him, sending him ChatGPT messages, and not being themselves, and everything is around fear and being serious. And I'm one of the only one who's like, bro, you mad because of this stupid thing? Let's just fix it, or this is like, you know. So it's quite funny.
Yeah, and I think especially with like successful people, they really appreciate people being themselves around them and not like trying to be liked by them.
Yeah, true,
Yeah.
true. Jakob, thank you. You're awesome.